Why, hello there, and Merry Christmas to you all. Welcome to the world of Pokemon. My name is ProfNoki, and you're here once again for another edition of Fixing the Pokedex. If you haven't checked it out yet, in my very first edition of this series, I went over Bulbasaur, Ivysaur, and Venusaur. And although I did gather all of the information regarding those Pokemon to make an entirely new Pokédex entry that would actually make sense for them, I feel like it didn't really entirely do justice to this series by first identifying the areas of the current Pokédex entries that don't really make sense, and then adjusting them to make sense overall. So I do hope you enjoyed the more detailed look into these Pokemon and what would make the overall Pokédex entry for them much better. And for the spirit of the holidays, I have chosen none other than the Santa Claus Pokemon itself, Delibird, and the reindeer Pokemon, Stantler. Delibird, an ice and flying dual-type Pokemon first introduced in Generation 2. These seabird, penguin-like creatures stand 2 feet 11 inches tall and weigh approximately 35 pounds. They are known to level up at a very fast rate and carry a base friendship of 70. They are known to have one of 2 possible abilities, that of Vital Spirit or Hustle. Vital Spirit, which actually prevents the Pokemon from going to sleep and being afflicted by such moves like Yawn, and Hustle, which actually raises the Pokemon's base attack stat by 50%, though lowers the Pokemon's base accuracy stat by 20% for all physical moves. When encountering them in the wild, they have an 11.9% catch rate and can be found at a 50-50 gender ratio. When choosing to breed these Pokemon, it is very important to note their egg group, which in this case is Water 1 and Field. While it takes between 5,140 and 5,396 steps to hatch these Pokemon. And what does the current Dex entry state? Well, as of Pokemon Sword and Shield, it states that it carries food all day long. There are tales about lost people who are saved with the food that it has. And it has a generous habit of sharing its food with other people and Pokemon, so it is always scrounging around for more food. So, what exactly is wrong with it? Although this Dex entry definitely pays homage to its animal-based theme, it seems to only essentially allude to its other main theme, which is that's based off of Santa Claus. As it states, Delibird is said to be very generous with sharing its food with lost travelers in the mountains, whether that be Pokemon or people, which could very loosely be perceived as alluding to the fact that this Pokemon is based off of the jolly man from the North Pole, who is known for generously handing out toys to those who have been kind and good upon their travels in life. It is very easy to make the connection and see the inspiration of Mr. Claus when you really start taking a look at Delibird's physiology. It has an overall red-suited body, white feathers that adorn its chest, neck, and chin area much like a beard, and not to mention its bag-like tail that is actually hollow in nature and can hold an almost magical amount of gifts that can be summoned at will. With all of these direct references, wouldn't it make the most sense for this to be incorporated into its Dex entry as well? Helping trainers understand this Pokemon's true nature as one of the harbingers of peace, joy, and happiness through the frigid, wintry areas in which it inhabits? I think so, but before we do that, I would like to dive more into Stantlers as well, so that we can get an overall bigger picture as to how these Pokemon tie together in this wintry holiday. Maybe we can even create a dueling Pokédex entry that go hand in hand with one another that best explain these Pokemon and the role they play in the Pokemon world. So now on to Stantler, a solely normal type Pokemon, though one who is interestingly given a number of psychic type abilities. However, a little bit more on that in just a little bit. This caribou-based creature stands 4 feet 7 inches tall and weighs approximately 157 pounds. They actually level up at a very slow rate, though also carry a base friendship of 70. They too can have either one of two abilities, being Intimidate or Frisk. Intimidate, which actually lowers the foe's base attack stat by 1 stage when entering battle. And then Frisk, on the other hand, which actually identifies the held items of all opposing Pokemon upon entering battle, both of which give this Pokemon an initial edge at the start of any given battle. When you encounter them in the wild, they too have a catch rate of 11.9%, and also carry a 50-50 gender ratio. When it comes time to breeding these Pokemon, they only belong to the field egg group, though it takes them the exact same amount of steps to hatch, between 5,140 and 5,396. And what does the current Pokédex entry state for Stantler? Staring at its antlers creates an odd sensation, as if one were being drawn into its centers. The curved antlers subtly change the flow of air to create a strange space where reality is distorted. Stantler's magnificent antlers were traded at high prices as works of art. As a result, these Pokemon were hunted close to extinction by those who were after the priceless antlers. So again, what exactly is wrong with it? In the event of Stantler, not exactly a whole lot, but it doesn't exactly cover the fact that Stantler, much like the animal it's based off of, likes to travel in herds, as well as that it lives in the same mountainous areas as Delibird. The Dex entry does, though, give us a little bit of a hint as to how this Pokemon could play a role in completing the almost impossible task of transporting millions of toys to households all across the Pokemon world. You see, those black orbs that are on Stantler's antlers, sorry, it was inevitable, contain immense psychic powers that are actually capable of bending reality around them, creating illusions that are almost indistinguishable from reality itself. Although, as a bit of a somber side note, that same orb can actually be ground up into a powder that humans use as a sleeping aid, which once actually attributed to this Pokemon's near extinction. However, this could actually tie into how Stantler does play a role in helping the children sleep through the night and allow it and Delibird to drop these gifts off completely uninterrupted, which would actually bring us to the brand new Dex entries for both of these Pokemon. So without further ado, for Delibird's fixed Pokédex entry. It carries food all day long in its hollow tail feathers. There are stories of its generosity, helping lost Pokemon and people along in the mountainous areas. Nesting along the frigid cliffs of the most northern regions of the Pokemon world, Delibird actually befriends Stantler with gifts of food in order for them to help deliver gifts all across the Pokemon world to good boys and girls, putting together their combined strengths, attributes, and abilities to travel all across the world in one single night. And as for Stantler, its curved antlers subtly change the flow of air to create a strange space where reality is distorted. This Pokemon lives in vast herds that inhabit the most northern forested areas of the Pokemon world. Here, they coexist alongside Delibird, who help feed their immense herds, and in exchange, they help Delibird transport gifts all across the regions of the Pokemon world to those who have been good all year. Stantler used their orbs to create powerful illusions to help cover all of their activities, as well as transporting them all across the world simultaneously. I thoroughly hope you enjoyed this video and this breakdown of both Delibird and Stantler and how we can really adjust the Pokédex to actually make sense and give information to the trainer that would be critical in understanding who these Pokemon really are and the role that they play in the world of Pokemon. I certainly hope that absolutely everybody who's watching this video has a warm, safe, healthy, and prosperous holiday season and looks forward to the brand new year with as much hope and aspiration as I am. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure you drop a like down below, as well as leave a comment as to what Pokemon you think I should fix next. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, this has been Professor Noki, signing out once again for ProfNoki.